What's up? What's up? Good morning, everybody. Hope everyone had a good weekend. Nice holiday if you celebrate. Um, yeah, so we're back. It's Monday. Today is day 16 of the challenge. I'm about 20 minutes late to the stream. By choice, that is. There was nothing really towards the opening that I was interested in. Um, so right now I'm just kind of sitting back and waiting. I will mention today I did float. I'm not used to having a Discord telling people what I think in the mornings, so that one I kind of messed up today. I have basically my thought process here is I'm not looking to take any sort of long trade with real confidence until obviously one of these indexes take the Thursday, April 10th, 12 o'clock 1 hour low. On the 4 hour chart it's the 10 a.m. 4 hour candle, but on the 1 hour it's the 12 o'clock 12 p.m. candle low. So obviously it looks like YM is going to be the one to take it first, but we're kind of waiting and seeing what's going to happen. um, if you look, we have divergence right now between this low on NQ and this low on ES. That's why I have it marked out. I don't believe that's going to do anything because, again, I believe the majority of the draw is to the downside, at least till this low, and then we'll reevaluate what's going to happen. I am still macro bullish, especially based on the structure, on the higher time frames, like E and Q especially, is kind of giving me the hint that we want to be bullish, and YM as well. Look at all these equals. So I'm just waiting for continuation patterns to kind of play out. Um, these lows down here are not the prettiest in terms of their structure either. You can see no one of the indexes has taken or making any sort of real attempt to sweep the lows before we reversed. YM did, and we did have that SMT like I noted out here. That's why I have these lows marked out. So we may just completely puke this area, and go way lower, make some new lows. But I believe the actual lows, excuse me, sorry. I believe the actual lows themselves will probably be within that area, within that vicinity of these recent lows here. So yeah, it's just kind of a waiting game, patience game right now. I am interested in short trades, but you'll see I'm not taking anything right now because if I go to a 15 or more like a 1 minute chart, we did just get this nice move up that I thought was going to manipulate this high, but it didn't. So that's why I'm not taking the short. I was kind of looking for some sort of SMT between ES and NQ, just in these 1 minute highs. So from here to here, maybe move into this gap and then roll over, but we didn't get that. So I'm sidelined. Nothing for me to do just quite yet. Forgot I have to pull up the stream on my laptop, make sure sound's okay. So that would suck if we started and I would have to re-say all that stuff. Nope, we're good. So yeah. So if you want, join the Discord. It's in the link. It's totally free. I don't know how attentive I'll be towards it as far as every day. Like if I'm live, there's really not going to be a point for you to be completely scrolling the Discord, except for pre-market. I guess pre-market, I'll make that a point to write out pre-market thoughts, if any. Sometimes there's just no pre-market thoughts, and it's very like dependent on the open. Um, so yeah, but Thursdays, because I'm not live, you'll pretty much that then the Discord will have probably most of its value if you're looking to, you know, catch what I'm doing as live as possible or as close to live as possible. That'll be really the only option. So you can see we pretty much opened up, ran right into the new day opening gaps of last week. both indexes, and then just kind of melted down, and it was like a really nice structure using the weekly opens as resistance. The only qualm I had with it was that there was no real SMT at the bottom at the tops of the move. So I saw some people catch some shorts in Asia. And I don't know. I don't really mess with that. I'd like to because I see a lot of like people, make decent cash in Asia, but it's not really my comfort zone. So I guess I'll stay out of it. So right now I'm just marking out the Globex open, midnight open. There's a little divergence there. It's not necessarily on structural highs, but in terms of not touching midnight on NQ and touching midnight on ES. And like I said, I'm just kind of waiting for a good opportunity to, try to get short and make something out of, the draw to the downside. And that's pretty much it. I mean, not much else to do. Not much else to do. Oh, right. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to check the news calendar. I know Trump's speaking right now, too, about Powell. So, um, where am I? Where am I? Where am I? All right. Investing. I really should start using the Forex Factory calendar. Okay, so 10 a.m. is the US leading index month over month. That might be a bit of a volatility driver. It's only a 2-star, 2 out of 3, or yellow folder news, so it's not red folder. Let's see, NQ. NQ may want to make a run for that same low as YM. And I'd prefer if, NQ or ES took that low as well, and it wasn't just YM. Um, just I would, and if we were going to trade away from it, you know what I mean? Like if we were going to trade away, then it would look a lot better if NQ also took the low with YM and maybe say ES doesn't. Then I'd be okay with like fading that low or fading the continuation to reverse higher. But for now, we don't know what's going to happen. So. I just want to take that down real quick so I can bring up my trading view. Okay, we are back. Sorry about that. So yeah, this is a pretty straightforward puke to the downside. Just nothing for me to really, no great way for me to get involved. Like I said, I was looking at this move up here to get involved, maybe a move into this gap or at least take the high. That would at least get me to bite, but nothing there. So kind of forced to sit that one out, which sucks because it would have been an easy Monday. But trying to be a disciplined man. I wonder, does Forex Factory have an app? I wonder if Forex Factory has an app, because if they did, then I'd probably like to use their calendar. So I like Forex Factory's calendar because of the fact that if Powell or somebody is speaking, basically they give you what the event is, where they're talking, like what they're talking about, as opposed to if you go to the investing.com calendar, they just tell you like Trump speaking, Powell speaking, and like they don't give you any color on like where they're speaking, what they're speaking about. so it's kind of not as helpful. So there goes 10 o'clock open, and you can see we're accelerating to the downside. So I'm still just waiting here. And it looks like it's just going to puke all the way until I could really get some sort of, you know, entry or solid retracement to the upside. No 5 minute, no 3 minute, no 2 minute, no nothing. So there goes YM to take that low. All right. Just a straight puke. It's a shame because I would have much rather traded the downside today. But it seems like it's going to make me trade the upside, depending on the reaction. I might just have to take a quick scalp or whatever off of the bounce after taking these levels. I'm not sure that it'll be a full-on reversal. It's also earnings week. So if you don't really get your move in the morning when it comes to earnings, it's going to be tough for you to. The market typically will save a draw, like a very obvious draw, like these equal highs or equal lows. Especially if there's like a large tech earnings release, you're not going to get the clean follow through. You're going to get a lot of stopping short or building liquidity on both ends. You'll start to range in the afternoon, and obviously, if you study ICT concepts, you're always targeting those highs or those lows. So you'll notice that the market typically tends to fall short of taking those highs and lows, especially when it comes to earnings, because it'll save those orders for the earnings. And like if you want to hold through the close, then be my guest. But I typically would not advise that. So yeah, so that's another thing to kind of be wary of for this week. I don't know who's reporting. I think maybe Google's reporting this week. I'll have to check. We could always bring it up. I wonder if there's a good earnings calendar. I know the only good earnings calendar that I really like is Earnings Whispers on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. Okay. All right, Monday after the close, nobody that you would really care about, so that doesn't matter. Tuesday before the open, we have Verizon, GE. Um, After the close, you have some larger tech, so Tesla earnings on Tuesday after the close. SAP, you have Capital One earnings. That'll tell a lot um, about the credit state or state of credit. What else do we have? Boeing before the open on Wednesday. IBM after the close on Wednesday. Chipotle. Intel and Google on Thursday after the close. Okay, so not a crazy big earnings week, but one nonetheless. And then if I go to, let's look at the calendar for tomorrow. Pretty dead tomorrow. You just have PMI 9:45 news on Wednesday. New home sales on Wednesday at 10. Jobless claims Thursday, nothing new there. Durable goods orders on Thursday as well, and existing home sales. So Thursday might be pretty volatility packed, especially given that there's Google earnings after the close. Friday, you have Michigan 1-year inflation expectations. So, and that was actually a drag on the market a couple of weeks ago, or like a week ago. Ah, so yeah. So you can see it's just playing with me right now. Obviously, I would still take a short if we can get a decent retracement to the upside because YM is kind of like barely touched into those lows. I would expect us to go a little bit deeper. NQ, I believe, is probably going to reach for the low. It makes no sense not to. But yeah, we're just kind of sitting and waiting for a sound retracement, and we're just not getting it. I mean, you have some SMT on the upside between YM and the indexes, but I don't know, when you're playing for smaller ranges around here, and like, we haven't made any sort of, so at least on the 2-minute, printed a down close. I just feel like we might get some sort of retracement, and I don't want to get caught in that. I do like how this candle completely rebalanced this whole entire down move all the way up to the open and then puked it again. So I may try that one. How far is that? 69. It's not terrible. I'm in one. I'll try one. It may want to come up and take out these equals. Now that I've put a line on it, it looks pretty clear. That's unfortunate. Now the real question is, do we cut it before it even has a chance, or do we just kind of trust? Yuck. All right. That's that. At least it was only 50 bucks. That sucks. About 15 seconds too early there. mean, now I just need to really look for a better spot here. I mean, this is still broken. Just reached into the 5-minute fair value gap there, very briefly. 5-minute volume imbalance. Let's see if ES ends up taking that high. So now ES stabbing into the 5-minute fair value gap. Instant shove, but nothing to see here quite yet. A little SMT on these 15-second highs. I don't know if it's real or not, though, because of the data feed. It seems as though it is. I'm cool with chasing one there. I could always add into it. I am going to add into that one. Just in this 15-second gap. I mean, obviously there's a risk that it wants to take these equal highs that it made, but I'm kind of counting on it that it might just want to turn around here. I should actually put in a stop just for the likelihood of a tragic, huge God candle situation. I added another one into the move down there. I'm a believer in the puke. I'm going to add another. I just want to kind of get aggressive on the down move. I just don't like the structure on the top side, but kind of have to going with the flow here. That's a good move if it really pukes that. Coming up and taking the midpoint and then instant rejection. So that I don't like to see. I don't like to see the reclaim it. Would need to just totally get out of there. It's going to sweep this high. All right, got to go now. Adding one more. Wow, that was close, I guess. Didn't see that coming. Probably wouldn't have added one. These candle lags are not bueno. I'm going to put my stop above that, though. Because I like how it's still holding that gap with the bodies. The wicks came through, but still holding with the bodies. I like how YM's kind of going lower here. I want everybody else to as well. ES is also reaching for this low, it seems, you know, so I feel like it should start to fall down. That's nice. I'm going to minimize my stop here as ES reaches into that low. Beautiful move. Come on. Bring it down. Let's move the stop. I'm going to trim a couple. Some profit. Move the stop to even. I kind of want to hold on just in case it wants to really start to accelerate through here. I'm going to trim another as it's hesitating up towards that low. Grand. All right, now we chill. Let's move that way down in case the world wants to fall apart. I'm going to start scanning for targets beneath here. So really it's this close of that candle. What else do we have? On the 5 minute. Okay, it's pretty gapped here. Might want to take this low. So let's just move that here. Although I'm thinking about just kind of abandoning the position. Considering we've all taken some targets, that makes sense to me. Ooh, don't like that. Yeah. I'm going to trail aggressively because I don't want to take any sort of risk that it retraces all the way up to my stop. I mean, considering look how we just never even really retraced anything up into this move. So I'm trailing aggressively with that. And we really should not come up to that high. And I'm even going to start trailing even more because now we're getting a nice push down. And we have the S&T on the downside. So I'm going to lock in there. At least give us 200 for the day. Probably going to get trailed out here. Yeah. All right, cool. That's good. Happy with that. Bias is now neutral. But that's going to pretty much cut it for me today. I don't really want to be involved in anything else for a Monday. Or, yeah, for a Monday. I don't know why I thought we skipped the day. But yeah, that's going to cut it. As you can see, we got kind of lucky with our stop placement. I mean, I was basically just putting it above highs. But you can see as we kind of came down and made sure of the, you know, as we saw the respect here, we had the SMT between ES, right, moving up, and then Q made equals. So we ended up taking the short. Obviously, that was then debunked, but we still had the draw of these lows and ES around this low and why I'm not yet reaching into that low. So once, even though we had this stab up, which was uncomfortable for sure, we saw that the bodies were respecting here and kind of held the short into the target, and that was that. So yeah, I guess I'll have to relook at the video to see if I could have squeezed more had I just closed out all of the contracts at that low. I'm not sure if it would have been around the same, but yeah, I just kind of felt like maybe we could accelerate to the downside. Although now we do have SMT on the downside between ES and NQ. If you look at the higher time frame charts, which are right here, let's just go to the 4-hour. So now you can see that NQ has taken this low. ES has not taken that low. So if we were going to turn around, we may and we could around this area. I think it may want to go a little bit lower into that 5-minute gap. That could be what NQ was aiming for, which is why it kind of held on to that runner. And but yeah, ES took that one low before the low that we were looking at, which is, again, I'll go back to it right here. Okay, so it did take some form of liquidity, so that's also why I kind of got pretty defensive. And I guess I could have closed all of it out just at this low, just to say, you know what, that was according to the plan, and be happy with it. But just tried to squeeze out a little extra juice, and we were positioned relatively heavier than usual into that move, and so yeah, I guess I could have afforded myself that runner, is basically what I'm trying to say. But the $150 loss is really what kind of took the wind out of our sails, for made holding a little bit harder, because you know that was a much larger move than just 211. It was probably around $300, so all good. But yeah, that's gonna cut it for me at this point. I may go on to trade my more aggressive account, but I'm not gonna be streaming that. This one is the one that we're streaming, and that's that. So yeah, all right, everybody. Short stream today, but it's always a good day when it could be a shorter stream. What is it? What's it been? 30 minutes? Oh, it's really trying to pull me in, but I'm not. So, you know, we'll lock out. This is good enough. We're doing well for a Monday. All right, cool. Hope everybody has a great Monday. I may be active in the Discord for the rest of the day. We'll see. But yeah, enjoy your Monday, and thanks for coming by if you were watching. Oh, Callum, sorry, man. I didn't see that. Didn't see your message. Rats. I really got. Sorry, Callum. Hope you have a good day, brother. Yeah. So that's it. That's gonna be the end of the stream. All right, later. Enjoy. Oh, Callum, by the way, if you're back in here, feel free to join the Discord, brother. Totally free. And sorry again if I missed your comment. Just didn't have it open on my laptop. I was just looking at my TradingView stuff. So take care. Have a good one day. See you guys.